All right, so is this foreshadowing? Is it foretelling? Former President Trump holds 2024 campaign rally in Erie, Pennsylvania. Forbes, you can't spell Erie correctly? This is the creepy kind of Erie, not the location of Erie. Anyways, let's move on. So, you guys have all seen the Sound of Freedom by now, right? Yeah, I imagine you guys have. It was, a big movie for everybody to go out and see about something that's been going on for centuries now. Um, I'm glad you guys are finally starting to wake up to it as a victim of this 30 years ago, 32 years ago. Um, yeah, things have been going on for a long time. I don't get on and use my victimhood as a platform or anything like that. Um, no, see, when it happened to me, I exposed everybody. And then when it got into 4 counties, and it was like, whoa, this is like really blowing up. There's a lot of people that know about this child trafficking and this sex trafficking. And wow, they sure are all bunch of public servants. The police, probation officers, judges. Wow. Then we find out it goes all the way up to the Pennsylvania governor. Not the current governor, a former governor. Okay, it went all the way to the top. But he stopped it before it incriminated him. And years later, we find out because it happened so much across the state of Pennsylvania, all these kids being picked up off the streets and kidnapped and trafficked and sexually, mentally, physically abused, adopted out. They do whatever they want to kids. Okay? And then you get, this movie comes out and everybody's praising Mel Gibson like he did something. I don't know what he did. He just produced the movie. He didn't have anything to do with it. And then people say, it's fake. And from what I hear, some actual real video footage was used in the movie. It was a true event. And, being a victim of it myself, I know that these things happen. And I know who really does it. Okay? And you're looking at one of them. This dude here that's on your screen lost 17,000 kids. How do you do that? I don't understand it either. But they were shipping these kids across the country by busloads, and they even put it on the news that they were doing it by busloads, and they were separating the kids from their parents because they were not sure if the parents were criminals or not. Well, you know who the criminals are? Public servants. Look no further than your public servants. I've been saying that for over 30 years now. Over 30 years now. Okay. People want to tell me now that I need to vote for this clown, Donald J. Trump. And I'd just like to throw out there that, did you guys forget that Donald J. Trump was a frequent flyer to Pedophile Island? You guys forget about that? Why are you not seeing him as a pedophile, but you see Oprah Winfrey as a pedophile? Why is it you don't see Donald Trump as a pedophile, but you see Bill Gates as a pedophile? Why is it that you don't see Donald Trump a pedophile, but you see Chris Rock a pedophile? His name's in the book, right? Why don't you see Donald Trump as a pedophile when you see Stephen Colbert as a pedophile? His name was in the book, right? So it's kind of funny that the second man in charge, so to speak, I guess you could say that, because Donald Trump was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend for over 20 years. And you want to tell me that you don't know what your best friend of 20 years is doing? You want to tell me that if your best friend of 20 years had an island that was just full of sex trafficking, you wouldn't know about it? Come on. Come on, how gullible are you? How stupid is that big brain of his? Really, how stupid is that big brain? It's got to be pretty frickin' retarded. Because the dude's not even a billionaire. He lies out his ass. He's not a billionaire. If he was a billionaire, he would have won his lawsuit against a journalist that claimed that he was only a millionaire. So he took the journalist to court under defamation, and he lost his own lawsuit because he could not prove in court that he was a billionaire. But he's going to go out here and tell all you gullible people that believe anything that you're told he's a billionaire. Well, if I tell them I'm a billionaire, they'll believe me. Well, yeah, a lot of gullible people will believe you, dude. A lot of gullible people will. And then you find out who the gullible people are. Trump supporters. Go figure. So we check out The Sound of Freedom, the movie, The Sound of Freedom, and now we all got to do something. We all got to be, that person. Hey, we need to do something. We need to protect these people. Like, who can you protect? Who are you protecting? I mean, for real. This is the absurd part of all of this. And I just want to point out the absurdity. I'm not trying to diss the movie. I'm not trying to degrade people for going to see the movie or anything like that. I'm not trying to do any of that. But the thing is, people go and see the movie, and then they come out of the movie. Look, this is just like back in the 80s and the 90s, the 80s mainly. You go in and you see a Rocky movie, you come out, you're freaking Rocky. You go in, you see Bloodsport, you come out, you're Jean-Claude Van Damme. Every movie, dude. And the ironic thing is, back in the day, when we used to go to them movies and people used to come out and think that they were Rocky and think that they were Jean-Claude Van Damme, they would pick fights out in the parking lot, and then I would have to school these dudes because I was the only one, apparently at the whole frickin' movie theater, that's ever been trained in boxing and martial arts since I was 3. And then these people all want to come out of the movies and think that they're Rocky and Jean-Claude Van Damme and try to beat people up, and they wind up getting beat up themselves. So you get people that come out of Sound of Freedom and all of a sudden they want to be these child rescuers, and they had no clue that this stuff was going on for decades. But all of a sudden, they want to become child rescuers. We need to protect these guys. We need to protect them. We need to protect the ones that are going after the kids. To go rescue the kids. We got to protect them. Dude, you haven't even protected yourself from your freaking kid's school. You can't protect your kids from all of this LGBTQRYSTZ. You can't protect them from that. How are you going to protect the people that are actually out there rescuing these kids? Because you have no clue what's going on. Because you have not paid attention for how many decades. This stuff has been going on for a long time. Why was nobody saying we need to protect these guys 5 years ago before the movie came out when the movie was already done? Why was nobody saying anything 5 years ago? It's crickets, man. Why wasn't anybody saying anything 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, 60 years ago? Why was nobody saying anything? Oh, because nobody cared. But now, since COVID hit, nobody really has a purpose in life, so let's watch all these movies and get a purpose in our life, and we need to protect these people. Dude, start protecting the kids now. Start protecting the kids in your own freaking community. Oh, they're not your kids? Not your responsibility? Oh, that's exactly what you'll say when the kids get kidnapped. They're not your kids, not your responsibility. And then you'll care just as much as you did about that kidnapping as you did about all the other kidnappings for the last however many years you've been alive. Because they're not your kids, not your problem. So instead of a community raising a child, nope, I'm going to let that kid's idiot parents raise them the best way they know how. Man, I feel bad for that kid. So then why don't you step in and help that kid? It's 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 retarded where we are at in society today. Everybody wants to blame these kids for not being educated, but nobody wants to take the time to educate these kids. Well, that's their parents' responsibility. That's the school's responsibility. Well, look at what they're teaching in the schools. Isn't everybody against what they're teaching in the schools now? But yet you still don't want to help these kids out and educate these kids on truth. Nah, you'd rather kick them to the wayside and then, hey, maybe they'll get kidnapped one of these days and it'll give you something to get on your self-righteous platform and speak about. Get on YouTube and TikTok and make some of these videos on how we need to protect these people. Even though you haven't done anything in your community to help a single child. You've done nothing. But once a movie comes out, oh boy, everybody's got to get their soapbox platforms out. We all got to get self-righteous. And we all got to get together and elect a president named Donald Trump, who is a frequent flyer of Pedophile Island. Frequent visitor, best friends. Let's elect this dude. But we're all against child trafficking and sex trafficking and all that. So let's elect this dude. He knows the most about it. Let's elect this dude. And see, I'm not even going to get on the elections and the selections and all that stuff in this video because that's just way too much. That's way too much truth for the American people right now. So let me just keep it at this, man. You guys in America are telling me to elect this dude who lost 17,000 kids under his watch. But everybody forgot about that, didn't they? Oh, because they're Mexicans. The Mexican kids don't matter. They're illegal immigrants. Who cares? People like me do. People like me that don't care about the kid's race or where they came from or who their parents are. We don't care. We will protect that child because that is a child that needs protected. But everybody wants to go and elect this clown after 17,000 kids come up missing and after he publicly stated he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, the owner of Pedophile Island, for 20 years. You gonna tell me you don't know what your best friend of 20 years is up to? I'm gonna call you a liar right to your face. I'm gonna call you a liar right to your face. Because there's no way that you can be best friends with somebody, go to his private island, and not have a freaking clue as to what is going on when everybody knows about it. It's kind of funny how the little black book disappeared, ain't it? In the hands of the government. And then we find out there's a lot of government officials that were frequent flyers. But you guys hate on Oprah Winfrey, right? Because Oprah Winfrey went and set up these schools down in Africa that supposedly were for child grooming, but yet you got this dude right here in front of you that was a frequent flyer to Pedophile Island, and you guys want him to run the country. And he's already misplaced 17,000 kids. And you want him to run the country. All because you saw a freaking movie called The Sound of Freedom and you don't know how to react to it. Because you have been so gullible and so brainwashed your entire life that you had no clue this was going on. When there's people like me that have been screaming from the rooftops about this for decades and telling you your public servants are responsible. Your public servants are the ones doing it. and you want to elect the dude that was the freaking grand ambassador for Pedophile Island. I thought you guys said you needed to protect the kids. We should protect them. We should protect them. And now you want to put the dude, this dude, in charge? Wow. If that's not some hypocrisy, America, I don't know what is. If that's not seeing good as evil and evil as good, I don't know what is. Why, America, would you elect or select or promote a pedophile for president? Why? This is your idol? This is your master? This is who you worship? This is the savior of America? You've got to be shitting me. This is a joke, right? This is a joke, right? Donald Trump, the con man, up on how many indictments right now? Impeached twice? Lost 17,000 kids during his administrative watch? Best friends with the owner of Pedophile Island, frequent flyer to Pedophile Island, met his wife Melania on Pedophile Island, courtesy of Jeffrey Epstein. And this is the guy you guys want after you've watched The Sound of Freedom. This is unreal. You can't make this stuff up, dude. This is so absurd. You cannot make this stuff up. Yo, you guys select whoever you want, elect whoever you want, support whoever you want. Send this billionaire money. Send this broke-ass billionaire money. Send this joke money. Because he's not a billionaire. If he was a billionaire, he would have won his lawsuit. If you have no clue about the lawsuit, you need to research this clown that you are supporting. Because obviously you don't know what you're doing. So you need to do a little bit of research on how not wealthy this con artist actually is. He's not a billionaire. He is not a billionaire. All he had to do is prove it in court that he was, and he would have won his lawsuit. He filed a lawsuit against someone, a journalist, and lost. Because in court, Don the Con Trump could not prove to the court that he was a billionaire. He could not prove it. And if you can't prove it, that means that's because you're not a billionaire. I could tell you guys I'm a millionaire all day long. If I can't prove I'm a millionaire, I'm not a millionaire. Donald Trump tells you all day long he's a billionaire, and he couldn't prove he was a billionaire. So he's not a billionaire. It's that obvious. If you can't prove it, that means you're not it. But he has the gullible people of America conned. And he will forever con the gullible people of America. And you will forever know who the gullible people of America are with their Trump stickers, their MAGA hats, and their Trump flags. Oh yeah, don't forget about the picture of him riding shotgun. That little sticker on the window. Yeah, don't forget about that. Don't forget about how bad Hillary Benghazi Clinton is. Lock her up. Lock her up. Trump's inaugural luncheon, he gave her a standing ovation while stating that he and her were close family friends. They were close personal friends. He bamboozled you all. They bamboozled you all. They stuck Donald the Con pedophile Trump up against Hillary, Benghazi, Clinton. And those were the two best choices that America had. You had your choice between a pedophile and Benghazi. That was your choice, America. Way to choose a pedophile over Benghazi. Hey, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Now you want the pedophile back in? No, you need to get rid of the pedophile just like you got rid of the Benghazi. Yep, Benghazi didn't go to prison like pedophile said she would. But Benghazi got a standing ovation from pedophile. And that's on video. Go look up Donald Trump's inaugural luncheon, and you will see that there is video after video after video after video of Donald Trump giving Hillary Clinton a standing ovation. They got you fooled. And you guys are too gullible, too dumb, too lazy to research anything. But you need to protect us, right? The victims, you need to protect us. You need to protect us, the ones that are stopping all of this. Us victims that came in, that became advocates. You need to protect us, right? You can't protect yourself. You can't protect your kids from learning about transgenderism in school. How the hell are you going to protect us? You cannot protect your kids from from their teachers. You cannot protect your kids from the school board. You cannot protect your kids from the Department of Education. And you think you're going to protect us. You're as big of a joke as Donald J. Trump. There you go. MAGA. Many assholes got arrested. MAGA. Many of them got arrested. The only swamp Trump drained was his own. Was his own. He didn't go in there and drain anything. He went in there and got his own cohorts arrested. They did time for him. Don't you think it's time for Donnie to do his own time? I think so. How many more indictments we need on this clown? How many more trips to Pedophile Island do we need? How many times does his name have to be in the black book? America doesn't care. They state that they're all about the sound of freedom, and then when you bring a pedophile in front of them, they choose the pedophile. That's how much they care. They don't care about the kids. I don't believe them. They're voting for a pedophile. They're supporting a pedophile. That shows their character. So now you know how many more people we got to protect the kids against. There you go. It's just that easy, people.